I want to give all praises, honor, glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. That belongs to the apostles of great millstone who rule well. Salutations to the brothers in the hedges, pushing this truth and sincerity. Safety, peace, and blessings to the elect across the four corners of the earth. Okay, you see the scripture I have on the screen. It's going into basically the difficulties of following the Lord. It's going to be a difficulty. It's not going to be peaches and cream. It's not going to be like the Sunday doctrine that the Lord is all loves, because he bringing destruction to this bitch according to Isaiah, the 63rd chapter. But I'm not going into that lesson. I'm going to go into this lesson. And let's start it right here in Matthew, the 7th chapter, and the 13th verse. And it reads, Enter ye in the straight gate, enter ye in at the straight gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And many there be which go in thereat. 14th verse. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Okay? Now that word straight, S-T-R-A-I-T, that word straight resembles something that's difficult, hard, and narrow. Okay? Not S-T-R-A-I-G-H-T. Not straight as in straight as opposite of crooked, to go in a straight line. That straight is straight as in far as like the Bering Straits in the ocean. That means tough. Okay? Tedious. Okay? Hard. That's what it means. And it's going to be hard following the truth. All right? It's going to be hard because you're going to have people that surround you, because your flesh is in this world, although your heart, your la'ab meaning mind, your mind is in the heavens thinking heavily, because you in this truth, speaking to those brothers that be in the truth. You're going to be thinking heavily. Your heart is going to be on the heavens. But physically you are here. In the flesh you are here. In the flesh you got to see faggots. In the flesh you got to see lesbians. In the flesh, you got to see homosexuality. In the flesh, you got to see unrighteous decrees and wars and unfairness of Esau, Edomites, okay? You got to see that shit in the flesh. So you're going to suffer temptation. But let's get the next scripture to keep the understanding going. And the next scripture I want to bring out is in the Apocrypha. I already have it loaded up, so let's get right to it. And this is 2nd Esdras. Okay, the 7th chapter and the 7th verse, and it reads, it's a precept from Matthew 7. The interest thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if it were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be but one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? Okay. Let me read the 10th verse. And I said, It is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, Even so also is Israel's portion. Okay. Basically, we just read that in Matthew's the 7th chapter. Narrow is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. In other words, you might figure like you could do this, you could do that, the Lord's still going to save me. You could do this, you could do that, the Lord's still going to save me. You can step outside the narrow gate, the Lord's still going to save me. But it's not so. Okay? All right? According to the scriptures in the Apocrypha, 2nd Esdras in the 7th verse, he said the interest is narrow. It is narrow. Basically, he said only one man could go there at a time. So does that mean the 144,000, I'm going to start with them before I start with the rest of the 1/3. Does that mean that one man going to get the truth, and then the next man going to get the truth, and then the next man going to get the truth? It's not so. He's just basically saying that every man is accounted for his own works, okay? No matter what his works is, he is accounted for his own works. So he is responsible for himself, okay? So when he stand before the Lord in the day of judgment, and that day of judgment is coming very soon. So when he stand before the Lord, that he's going to be allotted for that. He's going to be allotted for it. He's going to be judged for that. Whether it be a judgment in righteousness, or whether it be a judgment in indignation. Okay? All right? That's what he's saying. That's the straight gate. It's going to be rough and tough and hard. Let's get some examples, according to the scriptures, what he mean by the straight gate. Let's get some examples. And I'm going to go into, right now I'm going to go back to the KJV, King James Version Bible. And I'm going to bring up 2 Timothy's. Let's get no. Second Timothy's. Let's get Second Timothy's in the 3rd chapter, and I'm gonna start this scripture off at the 3rd verse. I mean the 3rd chapter, and I'm gonna begin at the 12th verse. 12th verse, and it reads, "Yea, and all that will live godly in Mashiach Yahweh Shah shall suffer persecution." If you're going to live godly in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, Wahamashiach Yahweh Shah, you're going to suffer persecution. Why are you going to suffer persecution? Let's see why. You live in a wicked ass world. You live in a world where Esau dominate the shit and control the shit. So he allowed homosexuality to reign fucking crazily. So yes, you're going to suffer persecution. You know why? Because you might want to bust a bitch in their head for being homosexual. You may have a daughter or a son that's acting wickedly. You might want to put their ass to death. Beat their ass down to the fucking low level of they last breath. But you can't do that because you're in Esau kingdom. So you're going to suffer persecution for righteousness sakes. Because if you do beat your goddamn daughter down or your son down for bullshit, for wickedness, okay, for folly, guess what? Esau coming upon you. And you going to be persecuted for righteousness. Because that's in the scriptures in ancient times. We can beat the shit out of our daughters and sons because if they going contrary to the doctrine of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, they deserve that. All right. But in this world, yes, you're going to suffer persecution for righteousness' sake. All right. That's what he's saying. If you're trying to be righteous, if you tell your own people when you was in the world, if you used to eat fucking pork chops and you just stop eating, they going to come fuck with you. All right. If you was a gangster before this truth and the Lord woke your ass up through mercy, you going to be persecuted. Because they going to say, damn, you was a fuck nigga now. No, you're not a fuck nigga. You strong. You're a strong Israelite. Okay? Because you know the truth. You're not a man until you come into the truth. All right? I hope that was edifying. Let's get the next scripture. I'm going to go back to the Apocrypha. And let's get the Apocrypha. I want to go into Sirach. And let's go into the books of Sirach, which is Ecclesiasticus. And I'm going to get this one at the Salakia. I'm going to get this one at the 2nd verse. 2nd verse. And I'm going to start here in the 2nd verse. And I'm going to start at the top. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. And make not haste in the time of trouble. 3rd verse. Cleave unto him. Him is Yahweh. And depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. 4th verse. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Be patient. So when the Lord bring your ass down, because the Most High is omnipotent, he control everything. So when he bring your ass down, it may be for a test. It may be to make you hard, and make you hard so that you may endure during the times of Jacob's trouble. Because Jacob's trouble gonna be some shit I can't even explain. No man can explain. So he is refining you as that gold. And what it says, 5th verse, let's read it. I wasn't going to read it. For gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Adversity means something against you. So when he bring you to a lower state, that's going to be something against you. You know what I'm saying? So basically, he is trying you so you can be hardened. So in the day of trouble, you can withstand that shit. And maybe, perhaps, we all can get up on them ships. We all can get up in the chariots, the clouds, as the scriptures say about them. All right? That's what he's saying. And this is why this trial is for us. This is why this trial has come upon us. That to harden us, to purge us. Every tree that my father planted, he purgeth, that it may bring forth more fruit. Okay? And that fruit is not always talking about another man that come in the truth. That fruit is established in Ephesians. Okay? And you can get the fruit of the Spirit. All right? The fruit of the Spirit. All right? So basically, when the Lord bring it, and that first verse, what it says, let me go back to the first verse in Sirach, the 2nd chapter, Ecclesiasticus, the first verse. He says, let me bring it up, prepare thy soul for temptation. Thy soul, meaning you're basically coming to the fact of your body. When you see these homosexual niggas out here, I don't know about any other brother, but I be tempted to cut their goddamn head off. I keep a machete with me in my truck. So guess what? I be tempted to cut their goddamn head off, but I can't cut their head off right now, right? But I'm tempted to do it. I'm tempted to fuck a bitch up and she talk outside her mouth. Because I ain't trying to have no woman to come against me and I'm a man. So that's what he's saying. Prepare thy soul for temptation. Because he have a lot of that you should know righteousness, that you should have mercy, that you should know the truth, that you should know how things are supposed to operate in a righteous kingdom. Not an Esau shit. But we trying to be righteous in a wicked ass place. So you going to suffer temptation. And sometimes that temptation may be to bust a bitch in their head. But keep your soul, brother. Keep your soul. I got one more scripture. And this is back in KJV, the King James Version Bible. Let's bring it up. And this scripture is in 1 Peter and the 4th chapter. And I'm going to begin at the 3rd verse. And it reads, for the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries. What does he mean when we wrought the will of the Gentiles? Well, this Gentiles meaning the other nations. How did we wrought the will of the Gentiles? Shit, some of us celebrated Christmas, our birthdays and shit. We celebrated our birthdays and honored our own selves and glorified our own selves as if we are anything. We are worms, according to the scriptures. A worm is defenseless. He cannot defend himself. He have no fucking defense mechanism. And neither do none of us have a defense mechanism. All right? So he's saying we brought the will of the Gentiles at that time prior to the truth. We did our birthdays. We did Christmas, okay? We did Halloween and all the other bullshit. And the fucking Happy New Year's and shit in January, so-called January, okay? We did all that bullshit. We walked in the excess of wine. The excess of wine, thinking we from Africa, not drinking all the time. Now, he ain't talking about literally drinking no wine, but we thought we was some other shit. Black, African-American, Afros, and all that bullshit, okay? Negroes, okay? Banquetings. Banquetings would be your party. 4th of July, so on and so forth. Your birthday, okay? And abominable idolatries. Fucking Santa Claus, goddammit. Santa Claus, fuck Santa Claus. I cut the nigga head off, man. Okay? So that's what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to the next verse, the 4th verse of 1 Peter's, the 4th chapter, wherein they think it strange that you run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. Yes, if you stop celebrating Christmas and all these folly days, okay, even your birthday, nigga, fuck your birthday, okay? You, what the hell you need to be glorified for? You was a wicked ass nigga just as well as I was a wicked ass nigga in the world. The fuck should we be honored for? We are worms, okay? And we are robed in filthy rags. He's saying the people that's going to continue to wallow in their folly, okay, they are going to look at you fucked up if you come up out of it. If you don't eat pork no more, souse, fucking crab, lobster, shrimp, okay? If you don't eat that shit no more, you looked at as fucked up. Maybe if you don't have your pants hanging off your ass, okay? Maybe if you don't accept gay people and allow them to live, you is a piece of shit to the people of the world. That's what he's saying. They gonna look at you strange. And the key and the point and the topic of this lesson is, guess what? When you come to serve the Lord, prepare your heart for temptation. You're gonna be tempted to bust a bitch in the head. You're gonna be tempted, even tempted to fall back to please motherfuckers. Fuck them. If they about the world, fuck them. And I want to say all praises, honor, glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to them brothers in the hedges week in and week out across America and even beyond, outside America, pushing this word in sincerity and truth. Safety, peace, and blessings to the elect across the four corners of the earth, the chosen of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah Wa HaMashiach Yahweh Shah. Shalom Akim.